This is my Pathways to Success final project by Trista Bloom. My chosen pathway is the government, public, and nonprofit pathway. Two of the career possibilities in this pathway. The first one is a paralegal. The workload includes assisting lawyers by investigating facts, preparing legal documents, and researching legal precedent, as well as conducting research to support a legal proceeding, formulating a defense, and initiating legal action. The second job is a judge. The workload includes arbitrating, advising, adjudicating, and administering justice in a court of law. Judges may sentence defendants in criminal cases according to government statutes or sentencing guidelines. They may also determine liability of defendant in civil cases, and they may perform wedding ceremonies. And just as a side note, I put in my notes that on the other side of that, while judges can perform wedding ceremonies, officiants cannot judge. And then most, but not all, judges possess law degrees and work for several years as an attorney before entering the judicial system. Some judges are elected or appointed to serve for fixed terms. And if you're wondering what a magistrate or a magistrate judge is, just have a very focused scope of where they're working. So like some magistrate judges work with just juvenile cases, so stuff like that. They have a smaller scope, a smaller jurisdiction than a regular judge. Assignments from this class that are relevant to this pathway include, the first one is the danger of a single story discussion. This assignment is important to this pathway in the sense that the whole story and all facts associated with it is necessary to have to ensure justice is served in the courtroom. That is important for both a paralegal and a judge. Time management, part 1, the planning your week assignment. This assignment is important to this pathway and the career choices because multiple cases and tasks are being worked on at once. So it is crucial to have positive time management skills and to be able to stay and stick to a schedule. Piggybacking off that, I have time management part 2, where we planned our quarter. In this pathway, it is important to plan far enough in the future to schedule out any related follow-up cases, as well as planning out time needed for tasks outside of the courtroom. As a paralegal or a judge, you definitely would want a calendar or a planner well enough into the future. That way you make sure that you have time needed for all of your tasks. Another assignment that is important to this pathway is practicing meditation, mindfulness, or another stress reduction technique. It is important to this pathway because as a judge or a paralegal where you're working on multiple cases at once, your plate is going to be very full. And then also in a courtroom, the subject matter can be depressing. It's not like people go in there to litigate who is their best friend or who has the most money. People are arguing in court. It's important to schedule in time to take care of yourself, your mental health, and also to recharge. Some of the takeaways from Pathways to Success that I have gained from the autoethnography assignment that we did. Working on that assignment taught me that I need to allow myself grace. I actually reached out to a couple of people to, how do you see me? And looking at myself through their eyes compared to how I was looking at myself through my own eyes really made me feel like a bully. And writing down everything that I was capable of and who I was, it really, I would say, checked myself to where I needed to stop being negative to myself. So that was a very important takeaway. The discussion groups, those were also important because they made me realize a lot of my peers are working through the same struggles that I am. It's not just me, like everyone is going through this, so I shouldn't be so hard on myself. Making progress, no matter how small, is important and should be celebrated. And when I say celebrated, I mean like a pat on the back and telling myself that I'm proud of myself, not necessarily throwing a party. Another takeaway is time management. I am a huge procrastinator and I will clean sometimes to get out of doing what I need to do. And so it's not like I'm doing fun stuff all the time. I just have a problem with managing my time, and taking this class, having assignments be where we had to plan out what we were doing and, really take advantage and own every single minute of my life and do what was important, to where I'm the only person that I can blame if I fail or don't get stuff done. That was crucial for me, especially going back to school. This is my first quarter back in like 17 years. I'm also taking an extra class this quarter. So combating my procrastination and taking ownership of my time has been very helpful. I don't know if I would have been able to manage the workload and the assignments had I not had this class at the same time, to where, we were backwards mapping our assignments and stuff like that. If I didn't have this resource, I don't know if I would have passed all of my other classes. So I believe that realistic goal setting, stress relief, and backwards mapping are also important, and aspects of time management. So all of that were really helpful takeaways from this class for me. The next steps for me in this pathway are completing the SPSCC paralegal program. I have to take 13.5 quarter credits of legal specialty courses, and from what I was reading, they also have to be taken together. So one quarter will just all be paralegal stuff, nothing else. I have to get a 2.0 or higher GPA required. Paralegal skills application course is required. I want to continue on to earn my bachelor's and then find employment and do the work I want to do. The obstacles that could be faced: paralegal skills application course that is required is not currently being offered because of COVID, so that is an obstacle that I do have to face. The laws that exist could hinder and add difficulty for me to accomplish what I want to, because what I want to accomplish is helping people whose civil liberties and their rights have been violated. So if in the process of me getting my degree, they changed the laws. Like in June, the Supreme Court ruled that if an officer does not warn someone who's detained of their Miranda rights and their right to remain silent, that cop cannot be sued. That is a big obstacle for my future clients, because if we can't sue the police officer for not informing them of their right to remain silent, they have no idea and they may self-incriminate. They may also not know that they have a right to an attorney, and that's really unfortunate. It's going to be harder for me to do my job and accomplish what I want to. The last obstacle that I put down is just not having enough financial aid to complete my plan. How am I going to combat these obstacles? I'll stay proactive when it comes to the course not offered, informing my educational planner of my goals, and considering alternatives for what is required, if that is an option, if I can do an alternative, or COVID restrictions winding down, if that course is going to be offered sometime in the future, how I can get into that class and take it. Getting involved where I can to prevent rights and liberties from being taken away, making my voice be heard and getting involved. Even though I don't have any sort of paralegal degree or anything, I can still vote, I can still inform people, and I can still do what I can to make progress. I am also working and saving as I can, so being proactive to find scholarships as well as internships that could lead to assistance or open the doors to new opportunities. That is a great way to combat that obstacle. And then, like I said, I work as a bartender on the side, and so I've just been picking up gigs and squirreling away money so that if I do lose financial aid or it's not offered anymore, I have something to rely on. So that's my project. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day.